Hey YouTube, what's going on? Finally gonna get around to doing this video that's been in the back of my mind for quite some time now. Gonna be going over my Corn Cob collection, just because, and also talk about the Forever Stems from VermontFreehand.com. And most of you are gonna know about a lot of that stuff, but if there's any new people to the pipe community that are sitting on the fence with whether or not forever stems are worth the investment or not, you know, we'll get into all of that. So corn cob pipes, right? People love them, people hate them. I happen to love corn cob pipes. I don't have a huge collection, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I do think they're a great smoking pipe, and I think if you take care of them and if you take the time to mud the bottom and upgrade to a forever stem, I think that, you know, using them in and out of rotation along with any other pipes that you might smoke, whether they're briar, meerschaum, clay, or even pear or olive wood and hardwood pipes like that. I think they're just a great benefit, and you know, just another thing to do with the hobby. You know, you can modify them yourself, you can have other people modify them. Missouri Meerschaum Company is making a really good deal of new corn cob pipes with upgraded acrylic stems. And I think that's fantastic because, you know, if you find one that suits your style or something that, you know, just suits your personality, what you think you like in general, you can basically get the pipe with the acrylic stem, you know, right off the bat. And then if you want to take the time to modify it by mudding the bottom or doing any other modifications to it, that's up to you at that point. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm gonna start with the first corn cob pipe that I ever purchased, which was the first pipe that I ever purchased. And it will come as no surprise that that pipe is the Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman. This one has been mudded. This corn cob pipe I upgraded to the Forever Stem from VermontFreehand.com, and this stem is, let me see what I got here. This is called Little Horn Swirl. All right, that's your Little Horn Swirl. I felt like it went pretty good with the type of rustication that comes with the standard rustication that comes with the Country Gentleman. I will start by saying at this point right now that all of my cobs are fitted with the same shape, style, type of stem. And on the VermontFreehand.com website, this is known as Style D. Now, on their website, the Style D and the Style A are the same, the only difference being that the Style A is just a little bit longer. All right? So there's not going to be any difference in the shapes amongst the rest of the cobs that I show you, but they are different colors and variations. All right, so that was my first pipe. That was the Country Gentleman. The second pipe that I added to my corn cob collection was this one. And this is a Shire Cobbit. Like many of you, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, and of course, you know, this one appealed to me. I do have another one from the Cobbit collection. We'll get to that one in a little bit. They did change these from when they originally came out with them. They used to have a slightly different stem, and I don't believe they had the wide collar bands like they do on them now. And I think that the overall piece right here that fits into the stem might have been a little bit different also. So this was the second cob that I ever bought, was the Shire Cobbit. Another thing to note about Forever Stems from Vermont Freehand, when you go to their website, they have a list of stems that are designed for filtered Missouri Meerschaum cobs, which would be the larger ones like the Country Gentleman and the Diplomat and the Mark Twain. They list all of the cobs that the stems fit for the filtered Missouri Meerschaum cobs. However, the Forever Stems themselves do not accept the filters that fit with the filtered Missouri Meerschaum pipes. All right, and you know, you go to their website, you'll see all that information. They'll list the cobs that are non-filtered and the cobs that are filtered, and you'll have to pick from you know, the colors and the styles are basically all the same. It's just whether it fits the stem of a filtered cob or a non-filtered cob. All right. And since we're on that topic, I'll give you an example. This cob here, I forget what this thing is called. I don't remember what this is called, if this is like a little huck fin or whatever it is, but this is like a small corn cob pipe. I actually still have to mud the bottom. This was going to be like my tester, or if I just wanted to go outside and have a quick, like little, let's say 10-minute smoke or something like that. These cobs do not accept the filters, all right? But you can get Forever Stems to retrofit, all right? Next, we'll go with the Elf Cobbit. This is the second in my Cobbit collection, the Elf, little bit taller bowl. It's got kind of that Rob Roy shape, kind of like that. And I was lucky to get one that actually had like a real nice staining effect to it. And that's that. Let's see. So these three cobs here, the two Cobbits and this little one, are the only ones that I have that came with the original stems. The rest of the cobs here on out are all going to have different Forever Stems. So next one up would be this one. This is a Diplomat 5th Avenue that I kind of modified myself using food coloring and shellac and a little bit of wood burning to put some designs in the stem right here. And this one is fitted with a red amber tortoise stem. This is the red amber tortoise. It's pretty nice. It's a little dark, you know. You really don't notice the swirling in it all that much from afar. You have to kind of get up close to it to really notice it. But it's a great stem. I like the red amber. Right, there was the red amber. Next, I'll go to the Forever Stem that has the amber tortoise, and that's on this one. This is a Mark Twain, again, that I modified with a little bit of wood burning and mudding the bottom and some color contrasting stain added to it. And this is the amber, regular amber tortoise. And it didn't really have the swirls in it like the other one, but it kind of had like this, what I call a flame effect. If you play guitars or you're into woodworking and you know what a flame grain looks like, that's almost the effect that this amber tortoise stem has. And again, really nice. They're translucent, they're not opaque, the light goes right through it, so that's a bonus when you're cleaning them because you can really see the cleaners going in and out. So there's another one of my cobs. I like the Mark Twains. They got a nice thick wall. They all fit the hand really good. Everybody talks about, oh, does it fit the hand nice? You know, unless your pipe is like a big chunky block of whatever it is, most of them usually fit the hand pretty nice, in my opinion anyway. There's a Mark Twain. I have another Mark Twain. This is my work Twain. This is the ugly bastard that I'll take to work with me occasionally if I feel like smoking at work. I did order one of the bands that Vermont Freehand offers. So they offer these bands that you can put over the existing ferrules that come with the Missouri Meerschaum pipes. They have quite a few different ones. They have, let me think, what do they got? They have nickel, they have silver, which is what this one is. They also have a copper colored, a brass, and a gold. Now, you do have to be careful with these bands because they will come right off when you're cleaning your pipe. And this was a black band. I originally sanded the black off of it just to make it look more like this. If you don't want these things coming off, put a dab of glue or epoxy or something in there so that it just stays on there. I haven't bothered with that yet just because, like I said, this is kind of like a work pipe for me. This I kind of just mudded the bottom, stained it with like a light brown or something like that, and a little shellac, whatever it was. This cob has, let me look on my list here. What does this one have? Brown swirl. So the Forever Stem at Vermont Freehand brown swirl, this is what it looks like. It's really nice. And just to give you an idea, this here is a Savinelli Romalusite, and the stems are damn near identical. So if you have a Romalusite and you like the stem and you're looking for something like this to put onto a cob, the brown swirl is the way you're going to want to go. There might be subtle differences, but I would say they're close enough for all intents and purposes. All right, so this is the brown swirl acrylic stem from Forever Stems. Nice. Next cob in my collection, we'll go with a popular favorite. This is the Missouri Meerschaum Emerald. I opted to get mine bent, and it also has the bent style D stem. That's another thing that I should mention, in case you haven't noticed. All of these style D stems that I've bought, I've opted to have them bent. And when you're on the website, you have to put in the notes that you want the stem bent if that's what you want. If you don't tell them you want the stem bent, you're going to get sent a straight stem, and that's that. This comes from Missouri Meerschaum with this green swirl acrylic stem. It's pretty nice. I think it's pretty sharp. Mine is not very elaborate in terms of the swirling that it has in it. It's got some decent swirling in it over here. And they also fit it with one of these bands that is offered by Vermont Freehand also. This one is kind of like a copper tinted band. It probably looks silver in the footage, and my apologies about that. But if I hold it up to another one, like let's say the Missouri Meerschaum Pot of Gold, this one has more of a brass. So I don't know if maybe now you can kind of tell the differences between the two bands. This one's a little more copper toned, this one's a little more brassy toned. These two pipes come from Missouri Meerschaum with these acrylic stems and with these bands. Vermont Freehand does not offer an acrylic stem that's similar to this green swirl The closest I would say that probably comes close to it might be their green swirl. Might be similar. They also have one that's got like a ripple swirl in it. And I don't think they have any stems, Vermont Freehand, that are quite this solid yellow with a little bit of a cream kind of swirl in it. If you were looking for something, like let's say this broke on your pot of gold and you wanted to get something from Vermont Freehand, you might want to look at either their tan swirl or their orange amber would probably be the closest you can get to this color. That would probably still look good with this pipe. Of course, mine I stained yellow with like a contrasting brown on top of it. And the stem right here, I wood burned to emulate the kernels along the sides of the cob. Almost like what it would normally come with on the Missouri meerschaums, just a little more defined. But again, that's that. So these are two more in my cob collection. This is the emerald, and this one is the pot of gold. Okay, last but not least, this is probably my favorite corn cob pipe out of all of these corn cob pipes that I have. I primarily smoke aromatics out of it. I don't know why. That's just how it goes. And this was in a video that I made way back in the beginning when I first started making videos for the channel. And that is my apple Diplomat that I call the green apple because obviously, I stained it green. On this one, I put a cream swirl stem. Really nice. It looks very bright white. It actually is more of like a creamy white. And I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but there is very slight swirl designs in the stem. I'll try and just roll this around at different angles. All right, so that's pretty much that with the Cob collection. Another thing to give you an idea about the Style D Forever stem in terms of the size of it. This would be an original stem that you might get with the Missouri meerschaum pipes. This is what was considered their Danish bit. It's kind of flat all the way right to where it joins up to the pocket. Right, so you can see here that they're relatively the same size. And that's kind of what I was going for, why I chose the Style D. I wanted to keep them relatively the same length because of the way I designed my pipe racks for these things to sit. I don't think they wouldn't sit in my pipe rack if I went with the Style A, which is a little bit longer, but they do have some other stems that get even longer than that, and that's where it might become cumbersome. But Vermont Freehand has all of the measurements for all of the different style stems that they offer for the pipes. I think they're worth the money upgrading your corn cob pipes, because these things, whether you're a clencher or not, these are just plastic, and the chatter builds up on them real quick, and then it's just a matter of time before they start cracking and splitting and just looking like gnarly, right? You know, you can see this one has quite a bit of chatter on it from, you know, this was one that used to be in my work Twain, this one here that I would take to work with me all the time. So I'd be, you know, clenching this in the car, because I'm not really a clencher, but if I'm gonna smoke in the car on my commute, I'm gonna be clenching the pipe more often than not. And with the acrylic stems, that's gonna be a lot more resistant to the tooth chatter that can develop. I'm not a fan of vulcanite stems just because I hate having to maintenance them with the oxidation and the scrubbing them and the wiping them with the mineral oil, or leaving a light coat of like chapstick wax on it or something in between smokes. They're not bad. They're nice. They serve their purpose and everything too, but I would much rather have an acrylic stem on my pipe, whether it's a corn cob or a briar. To date, I don't own any meerschaum or other type of hardwood pipes. So that's basically it in a nutshell. These were the two that come already with the bands and the stems. This was the amber tortoise color. This was the cream swirl. This was the red amber tortoise. Nice acrylic stem, the red amber. And this one is the brown swirl. And this one is the little horn swirl. Go to VermontFreehand.com. Check out their forever stems. They've got different swirls and ripples, and a lot of them are the translucent type acrylic stems. Some of them are more opaque, like the cream swirl or the little horn swirl. But there's just about enough variation for everybody, I would imagine. All right, that's gonna do it, folks. That's it. That's my cob collection. Will I add more in the future? Yeah, maybe, but probably not unless I start to really have a problem with one of these. And that's another thing in terms of the longevity of the corn cob pipes. This first one that I got was basically like 9 years ago at this point, and I can't even tell you how many bowls I must have smoked out of this. A lot. And the only thing significant in terms of wear is this little bit of cracking that's developed where the stem goes into the bowl. It does not affect the smokability. None of those cracks go through to inside the bowl anywhere. You could just fill this with some wood glue or something like that if you wanted to, I suppose, but I haven't done it. And out of all these pipes, this one, I do have a little bit of that happening on my green apple, not as much. And I don't know, I thought there was maybe one more, but I don't think so. And I don't know why that happens. That could be humidity, that could be from too much moisture in the bowl, who knows. My pipes stay in a relatively stable environment all year round. They don't sit in any direct sunlight except for when I want to sun the cobs in the windowsill every once in a blue moon. I typically tend to clean my pipes after I'm done smoking them, and if it's not within the same day, it's within a few days after smoking. Whether I smoke 1, 2, or 3 bowls out of it, I usually don't go beyond more than that before cleaning everything out. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you like cobs? Do you like customizing your cobs? Do you like the acrylic stems over the cheap plastic things that they tend to come with? Let us know. Like I said, this video was kind of more for people who might be just getting into the hobby, that are interested in wondering whether or not it's worth it to buy an acrylic stem for a cob that may only cost them 10 to 15 bucks. I think these might be up to $20 or $25 for a stem now. But your mileage may vary. But that's gonna do it for me. Wanted to get this video up. Hope you enjoy it. Till next time, be good.